Texas Tech under Mike Leach led one of the most dangerous passing attacks college football has ever seen. With Graham Harrell at quarterback and Michael Crabtree on the outside, this offense lived in 2x2 spreads and forced defenses to cover every blade of grass. Today, we're taking that exact Texas Tech air raid identity and building it inside of college football 26. So first, we're going to look at the play motion mesh spot out of spread Y flex. And mesh is always one of the most important concepts in any air raid offense. And this version is going to give us a triangle read in the middle of the field to put the linebackers and user in conflict underneath. Plus, we've got a rail route from our running back that can turn into an explosive play along the sideline. To set this up, come out with your running back to the short side of the field, then take your outside receiver on the wide side and put him on a post. Now on this play, we are working the triangle read over the middle. We're going to read the linebackers and the user, and if they jump down on our drag, we're going to throw the spot route as he sits down in the middle of the field. Then if they stay back and try to take that away, we can hit either of the shallow drags underneath and let them get some rack yards. Now, if those linebackers are sucked down into the middle of the field on that triangle read, we also have the post route breaking in behind it, and you can layer that ball in front of the deep blue defenders and hit it for a big gain. And this can also be really good versus man coverage, and it's tough to carry this all the way across the field. Then on top of that, we've got our rail route from our running back. Versus soft zone, you can quick throw this in the flat and pick up easy yards. Then versus man, if his defender gets caught inside in that mesh traffic, this rail route can turn into a big play along the sideline. So that's just one of our 6 plays we're breaking down for you in this Texas Tech offense. We're going to go through each one step by step and show you the reads against every coverage and give you the tools to attack man, zone, and pressure. Then if you want to expand this scheme even further, I've got 10 more plays that fit perfectly with this Texas Tech air raid offense live on Scheme Kings. Then remember, this Texas Tech offense isn't a one-off. It's part of a full air raid system in college football 26, all built out of the Virginia Tech playbook. You can run it alongside my Oklahoma and USC Lincoln Riley offenses and mix all 3 together into one giant scheme. And if you want to check out the full playlist for this offense, I'll link it down below. Now, the 08 Texas Tech Red Raiders were the peak of Mike Leach's air raid era, one of the most explosive offenses in college football history. Leach is one of the true godfathers of the air raid. He built his attack on simplicity and mastery, running just a handful of plays out of spread sets, but executing them to perfection. That year with Graham Harrell and quarterback Michael Crabtree at receiver, Texas Tech went 11-2 and climbed as high as number 2 in the country and lit up defenses across the Big 12 with pure rhythm, tempo, and precision. And then every offense needs a star play, something you can go to in any situation to move the chains or hit a knockout blow. And for us, that play is going to be slot 2 buck at a trips Y slot strong. This is an incredible zone beating play where we can utilize our running back vertically up the seam to stretch the defense while having some really good underneath options. And then we also have a 1-play touchdown threat over the top that can bomb cover 3 defenses. Now to set this up, come out with our trips to the wide side of the field, take your running back and put him on a streak route, then take your inside slot receiver and put him on a flat route. All right, so starting off with this slot 2 buck. So our go-to read here, our first place I like to look is our running back up the seam. Just kind of how this play works. A lot of the times the flat defender will get sucked out and the linebackers and users will see this post attack in the middle of the field and get pulled back. And now this running back kind of slow plays it up the seam. Like he doesn't sprint out of the backfield and he's just going to go up the seam. And if we see the flat pulled down and the linebackers pulled back, then just throw this running back quick up the seam. This was 1st and 20. We pick up the at first down. Here's another one. Watch a flat defender pulled outside. Linebackers pulled back by the post route coming up the field, and now we can just quick throw this here, and now we get the ball here and we just have a safety one-on-one in the middle of the field. We beat him around the edge and we're in for the score. But then off of that, if we are looking to this area of the field first and we see at the snap the flat gets depth, or the flat stays inside, or the flat's getting up underneath this area of the field and not right in on the tight end, then we can just quick throw this tight end in the flat and pick up those easy yards that they give us. Then on top of that, we also have a 1-play touchdown from our post over the middle of the field. So this guy's going to run a post from the slot. This can be a 1-play touchdown against cover 3 built in. So this running back streak's going to hold this guy in the middle of the field. Backside comeback is going to hold back down around this guy, and then this slot post will just get wide open down the field. And as soon as he clears this middle safety, we can bomb them up over the top, and this can be a one-play score against cover 3. So this play is just super dynamic. A ton of different options here for us. Here it is again. This can also be a really good route against man coverage. He's going to cross, or a matched coverage look. He's going to cross this guy's face one-on-one on the inside, and if he's got that speed advantage, he can just beat him up over the top. So it can be a one-play touchdown versus cover 3. Man or match can also be a big play down the field. Now, whenever we do play or we get match coverage, I usually look to the post or the backside comeback, just depending how much time we have. This is not the best hot versus, if they're playing a lot of man blitzes, you probably don't want to run this play. But if they switch it up and are playing, just a normal rush with man coverage on the back end, post over the middle, or we wait for this comeback to break back to the football and we can drop that in. So just so many options on this play. Great versus man, zone, and match coverage. You can really attack them all. Then, even though the air raid is known as a pass-first offense, Mike Leach's Texas Tech teams were their most dangerous when teams forgot about the run. By spreading the field with 4 and 5 wide receiver sets, Leach forced defenses to play with lighter boxes and safeties deep, opening up huge running lanes underneath. This run game was about numbers and leverage. If the box count showed an advantage, you take the run every time. So the first run we're looking at is RPO alert screen out of spread Y flex. This is a great call for attacking defenses that play light boxes. If we look pre-snap and we see a numbers advantage inside, we hand the ball off and take the easy yards on the ground. But then if the defense loads up the box or they pinch inside, then we can flip it out to our alert screen on the edge and pick up some easy yards with our blockers in space. All right, so with this RPO, it's all about counting the box. So right here, we are going to look. We have 5 blockers here. We're going to kind of count this guy out of the box playing over this guy. And that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the box, plus kind of this tight end who can pick up this guy. So right away, we see nice numbers in the box, plus both safeties back, plus they're staying wide out on the RPO. So whenever we see that, that just tells me we are going to have a really good chance to get big yards running the football. So one thing with the air raid, obviously it is a pass heavy scheme, but if they're playing everybody back, keeping everybody spread out, it is going to open up some big running lanes. So now we're able to hand this ball off. Everybody gets a hat on a hat. We just basically have to beat the user up the field. We pick up 9 yards, get it to 2nd and 1. Here's another one. Both safeties back. This one's even better box count. So watch this. So now this guy's out over this guy. This guy's out over this guy. 2 safeties back. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the box. We have 5 blockers. This should just be easily able to hand this ball off up the middle. Everybody's going to get blocked up, get to the 2nd level, put our foot in the ground, and pick up an easy first down. So always have these runs in your back pocket when you're running the air raid. And if you get a nice box count, hand that ball off nice and easy. Now with the RPO, the main way we're either going to throw this is if at the snap we see one of their players crash inside on the run, that's going to give us a numbers advantage on the outside. Or if pre-snap we see this guy playing way inside and it's just a 2-on-1 on the outside, then we can know we can just flip it out. So we're going to watch right here and watch what this guy does. He comes inside, so now we're going to have a blocker out on the edge. We can drop it out here, beat this guy around the edge, and we are, get a huge gain on the outside. So we always just want to keep our eye either if this guy's lined up too far inside or if he jumps inside, then we want to flip it out. Here's another one. Watch this guy. He's going to jump inside. We're going to flip it out right here, blocker out in front, pin him inside, and we pick up some big yards. So that is how we run that RPO. Next up, we have motion HP swing at a trips Y slot strong. This is an incredible way to get our running back on the edge with blockers, turning him into a real weapon in the open field. The motion helps you identify coverage and gives you a numbers advantage on the outside. And if the defense overplays the swing, we've got a backside slant sitting wide open to attack the vacated space. All right, with this motion HP swing pass, I really like this one because we have 3 blockers out in front. So we're going to have really nice blocking on the edge. And this isn't a slant backside that runs a little shorter. This is going to be a glance route, which is almost in between a post and a slant. And these are great because it gets to 10, 12, 15 yards down the field. And we were really going to throw that if the linebackers come down hill too aggressively. But right here, we're going to just look out here. And if we don't at the snap see man coverage where someone's busting down right away or the user's firing down, then we're going to be able to just drop this out out. We're going to have 3 blockers out in front, hat on a hat, turn the corner, spin back inside. We turn that into like a 20-yard gain. Here's another one. User does come out, but we don't see him jump down. And now we have him getting blocked there. 2 blockers out on the edge right here. Juke back inside, 1 stiff arm, 2 stiff arms, put our foot in the ground, get uphill. I thought I tried a hurdle there, but there it is. So really nice, ability there just to get our running back in space with a lot of blockers out in front. But if at the snap we see man coverage and we see the user bite down, and we don't really like the look of the numbers on the outside, but we see the linebackers leave the middle of the field, that's where we're going to have that glance route coming in over the middle. So if we see those linebackers leave, throw that glance out route, and we see that was 1st and 10. We're catching this at about 12 yards, falling forward to 15. So we can really get a kind of bigger gain in behind the defense if the linebackers leave the middle. The other thing we can do on this play, we run our swing. I see the user jump out there really aggressively. Then I come back inside and I see the linebacker stay in the middle of the field, but they're following, the edge is following that slant route, glance route into the middle. We can also take off if you have an athletic quarterback and get your way into the end zone. Now, if you're loving what you're seeing so far with this Texas Tech air raid scheme, we've got 5 more videos with 10 new plays waiting for you right now on Scheme King so you can take it to the next level. We're talking about deadly run plays, ways to beat both man and zone coverage, and more vertical shots to push the ball all over the field. Then coming up in the future for this scheme, we have our OU and USC offenses all on the way, and there's already another air raid intro scheme on the site as well. Then that's not all. On Scheme Kings, we've got all of our Madden content live with our Big 3 offense. That is an incredible scheme to use. Plus, if you're diving into College Football 26, we've got even more content for you there as well. Then I am going to be running my air raid sale on the site, and this will run until December 1st. Use code AIR26 to get 50% off your first month. While the air raid is often labeled as a short timing based dink and dunk offense, Mike Leach's system at Texas Tech always had the firepower to attack deep. His philosophy was simple: take what the defense gives you, but when you see a matchup you can exploit, let it rip. This willingness to stay aggressive created one of the most explosive passing attacks in the country, with big plays coming from anywhere on the field. So the play we're looking at here is smash at an empty tray flex. This is one of the best deep shots I have used all year. It's incredible for bombing cover 3 with the option route fading from the seam, but it's also really effective against cover 2 and match defenses, creating some massive plays down the field. To set this up, always come out with our trips to the wide side of the field. Versus a single high defense, you want to take the outside receiver on the wide side, motion him across the field and put him on a streak, then take the outside receiver on the short side and put him on a drag. Now versus a 2 high defense, take the outside receiver on the wide side and put him on a corner route, then take the middle player on the trip side and put him on a streak. All right, so this is kind of our go-to one play touchdown in this scheme. Really good against cover 3. Against cover 3, this tight end, we're going to bring this guy, motion him over, and this tight end is going to run this fade against single high up the field, and it is just going to get to a great area of the field, fade up in behind the deep blue defender on this side. We're going to see the corner route pulls out that deep blue defender. This streak on the backside holds this safety into the middle of the field, and this fade is just going to get up over the top, and we can just bomb them for walk-in touchdowns down the seam. And this is just incredible. Get some speed at tight end and you are just going to get so many big plays. Here it is again. Guy gets pulled out here. Safety has to stay in the middle of the field. This guy's just going to fade up the field. We want to, and you're going to see where I pass lead this football. I'm pass leading it up and away. So we want to keep it as far away from this guy and this guy as possible. Go up and away, up the field, drop that in, rack catch, and we are gone for the walk-in score. So that's how it works against cover 3. Now, if we run this setup and they actually switch it up, so we think they're in cover 3, but they switch it up, we have our drag coming across the field, which can be a really good check down. So if everything's kind of covered deep, we don't actually get the look we want. Check it down to our receiver underneath. 1st and 10, we get a first down there. Now, against 2 high looks, we kind of got 2 different ways I like to play it. Now, if you're running, if you think they're running match coverage, so quarters, palms, I want you to set it up like this. So the corner route on the outside, the inside receiver here on a streak. Now, against match this can work really well against man coverage. Our first route here can be this route right here. Now you're going to see he's going to break into the middle of the field, and he's just going to turn into a post route with this option route. Now, depending on the look, depending what the coverage is, if you see separation there with our option post route, you can fire that in, and here we are just gone off to the races. Now, against more of a cover 2 look, I didn't go over this in the adjustments, but I actually like to put this outside player on a streak fade. And basically what's going to happen against cover 2 now is this option route is going to break into the middle of the field right here. That is going to pull the mid read into the middle, and he's going to stay shallow. This outside fade is going to help pull this outside safety in between these two players. He has to split them, and now this streak is going to get down the field, and we can pass lead this up over the top on the inside. A lot of the times when you try to bomb cover 2 over the top, this mid read, if this route wasn't there, this mid read would get on top of that inside streak. But because we have this option route, he's going to pull the mid read down, and we can bomb cover 2 with this streak route right into the middle of the field, drop it in front of that safety. Like I said, we do want to kind of, I like the corner route look better on the outside when it's cover 4 quarters or palms, any match coverage, because what you're going to see with match coverage is this corner route on the outside is really going to give these match defenders a ton of issues, where you're going to kind of see what the match does here. So this player is going to end up being responsible for this corner route, but he's very late to react to it because these guys, he doesn't know if he's going to break outside or not. And then by the time he does, he's already way down the field, and these two players up top have already matched. It's now his responsibility, but he's super late reacting to it on that corner route, and we can drop it in for a huge gain. Now, the other option here for a check down is if we're kind of getting everything taken away on the wide side. We could have probably waited for this deep streak to come open down the field, but we do have this backside hitch that we can just drop it down to, let him make a guy miss in the open field, and we pick up the first down for a check down. Then Mike Leach's entire system was built around a small handful of plays. These were the core concepts that his quarterback would master, and they could run better than anyone in the country. Y cross, mesh, 4 verticals, and Y sail were the backbone of the offense, each designed to attack every coverage with simple reads and precision timing. That philosophy powered one of the most efficient and explosive attacks in college football. In 2008, quarterback Graham Harrell threw for 5,111 yards and 45 touchdowns, while Michael Crabtree dominated defenses with 1,100 yards and 19 touchdowns, earning his second Biletnikoff Award. Now, the air raid essential we're looking at here is Y cross at a spread Y flex. This is one of the most iconic and reliable air raid concepts ever created. It's built around this deep crosser that works in behind linebackers, creating natural windows through the middle of the field. Off that, we've got this post sit route that finds a soft spot in zone coverage and is super difficult to stop. To set this up, come out with our running back to the short side of the field and put him on a swing pass, then take your slot receiver on the wide side and put him on a whip route. All right, Y cross. This is an absolute air raid staple. How I like to set it up, I always like, in previous years, I would put this guy in a hitch. Can't really do hitches now out of your slot, so I like a whip route. Whip routes are really good because they can be really good versus man, and they take longer to develop to the outside versus zone, so it can actually give us time to let things get open down the field and then check it down. Now, usually, I'm looking to this whip route right away, and if this guy here, this linebacker, stays in the middle of the field, this whip is going to just get open. But right here, I see this whip pull the linebacker down out of the box. Now, if we go back a little bit, that means we can look here. If this linebacker stays right here, he's going to take our crosser coming across the field. But because he bites down on that whip, we have this crosser breaking in here. We see the flat defender stopping here. Linebacker gets pulled down. Really nice hole for our crosser in our Y cross. Can drop that in. So that's kind of what we're looking to versus zone. We want to high-low with that whip and this crosser. Now, this can be a really good route against man coverage as well. We see really nice separation here, so you can kind of look to the whip on the outside, into the crosser, into the middle of the field. Crosser gets wide open. We can fire that in. Bad animation, or we walk him for the score, but really good option versus man coverage. Now, like I said, we are a lot of the time just going to be looking at this whip route underneath. Now, against zone coverage, we can look here right away, and if the flat defender is getting depth and playing back, just throw this whip route underneath. You don't even have to really think about it. You see him break out, we see separation, 2nd and 3, drop it down to him. You can pick up an easy 4, 5 to 10, 12 yards with that route against zone if they're playing off coverage. Now, this obviously is really good against man as well, because our eyes are already here. If we see him just break off from his man coverage right away, then just drop that in. 1st and 15, we spin back inside, pick up the easy first down. Now, the other amazing route in Y cross is going to be the backside post sit. This is incredible versus zone. So here I really want to focus on the crosser. So let's say we're looking for the crosser here, but I see the user starting to get pulled by that crosser, and we see other linebackers playing underneath it. Well, what's going to happen? This post sit route is going to run a post, then he's going to sit down right here in the zone. The flat defender is going to get widened out by the running back route, and now this sit route just sits down in the zone. The line user leaves the middle of the field to take this route, and he's just going to sit down in front of the deep blue. We can drop that in 2nd and 12, and we make it 3rd and inches. Then our last option on this play is if they're bringing pressure, or if everything is just covered deep, everybody's playing back, then we also have the swing pass to the running back. This can be our hot versus the blitz, or if everybody's just playing deep, drop it into our running back, 4th and 2, and we pick up the first down. Then remember, with just what you've got here, you're already going to be able to run an incredible offense. But we do have 10 more plays up right now on Scheme Kings that will take this Texas Tech attack to a whole new level. And then if you want a full breakdown of this entire air raid offense, where we cover the big picture philosophy, talk about the legends of the scheme, and walk through the personnel you're going to want to use to run this offense, then check out the intro video for the scheme right here.